Imagine stepping back, way back to the late 19th century, sending a message, across hundreds of miles. It wasn't just slow. Every single word cost real money. A lot of money.
Yeah, and picture this. You're a grain dealer, a multi-thousand-dollar deal is on the line, and just one missed letter, one tiny telegraph mistake.
Poof, deal derailed, disaster. So the question is, how on earth would you communicate efficiently, fast, and critically accurately in that world?
Well, that brings us right into our deep dive today. We're looking at a really ingenious solution called the Robinson Telegraphic Cipher.
And this wasn't just, some dusty old book. It was genuinely a cornerstone.
Absolutely. A living tool for commercial communication, especially for grain dealers all across North America. It became the accepted standard code for their entire trade.
So our mission for this deep dive, using the revised edition from 1897 and its later supplement as our guides,
is to really unpack how this thing worked. How did it function? What does it reveal about that bustling, high-pressure world of grain trading back then?
And also, the incredible human effort behind it is quite remarkable.
Yeah, get ready for some surprising facts. It might actually make you look at your own texts and emails a bit differently.
Okay, so let's set that scene. Late 1800s. Telegraphy is the internet of its day, right? Fast, revolutionary.
But expensive. Really expensive. They charge per word. And in a business like grain trading where prices could flip any minute.
Time was definitely money. Big money.
Exactly. And the sources we looked at, the cipher book itself, they really hammer home the risk involved.
How so?
Well, the introduction flat out says, the missing or adding of a single dot or dash, the misjudgment of a space, may change the entire meaning.
Wow. Just a dot or a dash.
I think about that. It wasn't just, oops, saved a few cents less. No. A miscommunication. That could mean huge financial loss. Catastrophic, even.
A wrong price. A wrong quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that spiraling fast.
Thousands of dollars potentially gone, just like that, in those really volatile markets.
Okay, so into this pressure cooker steps the Robinson Telegraphic Cipher. And it wasn't generic, you said.
No, not at all. It was marketed very specifically, a time and labor-saving tool designed for grain dealers.
Right, and it had that dual goal, didn't it?
Precisely. Reduce your tolls. That's the cost saving, obviously. But just as important, ensuring accuracy. Making it, as they claimed, the accepted standard code for the trade.
A pretty bold claim.
But it seems like it really delivered on that promise.
So how did it actually work? How did they manage both saving money and boosting accuracy?
Well, the core idea, the mechanism, was actually quite elegant, simple almost.
Really?
They used single, very carefully chosen cipher words to stand in for common, longer phrases, multi-word phrases.
Ah, so like a shorthand.
Exactly. It compressed these long, complex business messages into just a few key words that slashed the telegraph tolls. It's sort of like analog data compression, if you think about it.
Okay, but with thousands of words meaning different things. How did they keep it straight? How did they avoid mix-ups? I mean, Revelation sounds like it could be easily misheard or misread.
That is a fantastic question, and it really points to the meticulous design, which we'll definitely get more into. But let's take an example straight from the book.
Please?
Okay, say a dealer wants to send, quote, price number 2 corn laid down in Chicago. Long message, right?
Yeah, lots of words to pay for.
Instead, they'd send just 3 cipher words. Revelation, Alkali, Chicago.
Revelation, Alkali, Chicago. Okay, break that down.
Revelation stood for, quote, price. Alkali meant no to corn that specific grade. And Chicago, in that sequence, filled in the destination blank, meaning delivered to Chicago.
Ah, I see. So the order mattered, and the later words filled in blanks for the first one.
Precisely. It's like a really smart fill-in-the-blank system, super efficient.
That is clever. And I remember seeing something about prices, too. It wasn't just substituting phrases.
No, that's another layer of genius. Contextual rules made things even tighter.
How did that work?
The manual explains it. It says, when the price is manifestly above 1.20, the dollar will be understood and not expressed. So if the price was clearly over $1, say $1.3525.
Okay.
They wouldn't even telegraph the one part. They just send the cipher word churl. And churl meant 1.3525.
Wow. So the system assumed you knew the rough context of the price.
Exactly. These kinds of contextual shortcuts saved even more words, more money, and crucially, cut down on potential errors from typing redundant info.
I could see that. Fewer characters, fewer chances to mess up. Now, you mentioned this wasn't static. There was a revised edition, a supplement. Why keep updating it?
Well, the grain business wasn't static either. It was constantly changing,
New
dynamic,
rules, new products.
all of that. The publisher points out changes in grades of grain, new railroads and freight lines, and advanced methods of doing business. All these things made it necessary to add new cipher words and phrases.
Makes sense. A new railroad opens up a whole new shipping route. You need a code for it.
You got it. The cipher had to keep pace with the actual business world.
So how did they handle those updates without causing chaos? I mean, telling thousands of dealers to chuck their old book and buy a new one every few years sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Right. But this is where the design foresight is just brilliant, truly remarkable for the time.
What do they do?
The revised edition, the 1897 one, was printed so it retains all the cipher words and phrases of former editions in identically the same relationship.
Okay, so it built on the old one.
Yes. And any new stuff, clearly marked, printed in italics, and the later supplement was literally a separate section you could just insert into your existing book.
Very clever, like a patch or an update file today.
Exactly. It was all about avoiding confusion, loss, and lack of confidence. They needed users with older versions to still communicate seamlessly with those who had the newest one. It's basically backward compatibility in a printed book from the 1890s.
That's seriously impressive planning. Now, looking through this book, it feels like more than just codes. It's like a window, right?
Oh, absolutely. A fascinating window into the daily life, the nuts and bolts of a grain dealer back then.
It's not just a list of words. It feels like an entire operations manual almost.
It really does. This cipher wasn't just for simple buy or sell messages. The sheer breadth of it shows you how complex these businesses were.
What kinds of things were we talking about?
I mean, everything. From deciding on the specific grade of wheat to getting marine insurance for a shipment heading across the Atlantic. Right down to getting a coded weather report about spring planting conditions. It was all in there, standardized, ready to go.
It really paints a picture of a very sophisticated business ecosystem.
Totally. So think about buying and selling. You didn't just have buy. You had specific codes like remote for buy immediately or sentence for cannot sell freely. Nuance was built in.
And quantities too, I bet, not just numbers.
Right. Codes for 1 carload, 1 boatload, even specific fractions for pricing tiny fractions. Bramble meant 1/16 of a cent. Brewer was 1 1/8. That level of precision tells you something.
It tells you every fraction mattered. And the commodities themselves.
Oh, exhaustive lists. Different grades of wheat, like a ground for #1 Chicago spring wheat, corn alkali for #2 corn, oats, rye, barley, seeds, mill feed, flour. And it wasn't just grains. It went into provisions, hogs, lard, specific cuts like apostle for hams, different types of meats, green meats, bulk meats, boxed meats, pickled, smoked, even beef.
It's like a complete inventory of the agricultural trade of the time.
Pretty much. And then think about getting those goods from, say, Iowa to London, the logistics.
Yeah, how did they handle shipping codes? That must have been complex.
Immense. It reveals this whole interconnected global network, specific codes for freights. By sail, by steam, all rail. Foreign freights to places like Buffalo, Montreal, Antwerp, London.
All coded.
All coded, plus a huge list of railroads. The B&O, Canadian Pacific, the Santa Fe, lake lines, ocean lines. Shipping was clearly critical.
Makes sense. And beyond the physical stuff, the movement, does they code information like market sentiment?
Oh yeah, absolutely vital for strategy. Phrases for the state of the market. Pigment meant market firm. Pretending meant market dull. Picture was market open, steady and firm.
Instant market reads across the wire.
Exactly. And foreign advices too, codes for those influential beer bum quotes, key European price indicators, even tiny price changes. Penny higher, shilling lower. It let dealers react almost instantly to global shifts.
It's incredible. And you're saying they even covered finance, insurance, even the weather.
The whole picture. Funds, codes like tenant for draw at sight, basically, pay immediately, fetched for have remitted currency, margin requirements, insurance like topic for affect marine insurance, and yes, crops and weather. Trespass meant the seeding this spring is backward. Umpire was weather is fine.
They even coded the time of day. Upland for 6 a.m., Valentine for 2 p.m.
Right. It was designed to give a dealer this complete instant snapshot of everything affecting their business. Every single factor.
Just amazing detail. So who was the brain behind all this? This couldn't have been just thrown together. It feels like one person's obsessive vision.
You are absolutely right, not haphazard at all. That brings us to the man himself, Stephen L. Robinson, the cipher alchemist, as I like to think of him.
Cipher alchemist, I like that. What made his approach so special?
Well, he took it incredibly seriously, almost obsessively so. He actually wrote that he studied nearly a year selecting a list of words I considered safe to use.
A year, just picking words.
A year, analyzing every single one from a telegraphic standpoint, he said, and also how likely they were to be misread from manuscript. Handwritten messages, you know.
Wow. So how did he actually do that? What was the process for finding these safe words?
His method was painstaking. He said he literally cut out the words from Webster's unabridged dictionary till I had between 5,000 and 6,000 I considered safe to use as code words.
Cutting words out of a dictionary. That's dedication.
Incredible, isn't it? He wasn't just looking for short words. He needed words that sounded distinct and looked distinct. Words that wouldn't be easily confused if a telegraph operator made a slight error or if the handwriting was messy. He was thinking about every weak link in the chain.
That's amazing foresight. And this wasn't just theoretical for him, was it? He had real-world experience.
Oh, absolutely. Deep experience. Robinson himself had, get this, 15 years personal experience as an operator and manager, plus 3 years as an operator and cipher clerk for the U.S. government.
Okay, so he knew the system inside out.
And 10 of those 15 years were as telegraph manager right on the Chicago Board of Trade. The heart of the action. He knew the pressures, the common mistakes, the need for absolute clarity because he'd lived it day in and day out.
That practical background explains everything. The meticulous detail makes perfect sense now. He knew exactly where things could go wrong.
Precisely. His design was forged in the fire of real high-stakes communication.
So the big question, did it work? All that effort, all that meticulous planning, was the Robinson cipher actually successful in cutting down errors?
The results were, frankly, unbelievable. The proof is right there in the manual.
What does it say?
It boasts proudly that during the past 35 years, the Robinson Telegraphic Cipher has been and is still in use in nearly every city and town in the United States and Canada having a telegraph office. Wide adoption.
Okay, that's impressive reach. But the errors.
This is the jaw dropper, the aha moment. Despite thousands of people using it constantly, sending complex messages, the errors in transmitting its code words are less even than in messages in plain English. In fact, virtually nil.
Virtually nil?
Yeah.
Less error than plain English. How is that even possible?
It's astounding, isn't it? It just speaks volumes about how successful Robinson was in his mission. That careful, obsessive word selection paid off.
So choosing words that were hard to confuse, even with telegraph noise or human error.
That was the key. He built resilience right into the code itself. Each word was distinct enough to overcome the inherent fuzziness of the transmission medium. Think about the edge that gave users.
Yeah, in a world where one mistake could cost thousands.
Having a system you could trust that was basically error-free, that provided incredible peace of mind. It let businesses operate faster, scale bigger, because they could rely on the information. Trust is everything in markets, right?
Absolutely. That level of trust, that reliability, must have fundamentally changed things for that whole industry. It's hard to wrap your head around today when we just kind of assume messages arrive intact.
It really is. It's a fantastic example of human ingenuity tackling a really tough problem with the tech they had available. Robinson created more than just a code. It was a whole communication protocol, optimized for that specific high-stakes world.
It really makes you appreciate the thought that went into every single character back then. It wasn't effortless like hitting send today.
Not at all. Information transfer was a physical, mechanical, often error-prone process.
So let's recap. We've seen how this one book, the Robinson Telegraphic Cipher, emerged from a real need for speed, savings, and accuracy.
Crafted with incredible, painstaking precision by Stephen L. Robinson.
And it ended up streamlining an entire industry, grain trading across North America, saving money, saving time, and astonishingly, almost completely eliminating communication errors on those vital telegraph lines.
Yeah, achieved through those clever cipher words for complex phrases, the smart updates that kept it relevant, and its sheer comprehensive scope covering, well, everything from the grain itself to logistics, markets, finance, even the weather. All designed for maximum clarity.
Okay, so thinking about Robinson's intense focus on avoiding misinterpretation, where every single dot and dash was critical. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
About our communication today. It's Rapid fire, digital, full of shorthand emojis, memes, abbreviations. So much context is unstated, implied.
Right. Very different from the Robinson cipher's precision.
So here's the thought to chew on. Are we today, with all our instant messaging and quick texts, actually more prone to misunderstanding than that 19th century grain dealer was with his trusted cipher book? Or have we just traded one kind of potential error for another, maybe accepting a bit more ambiguity for the sake of speed and, well, convenience? What stands out most to you from this deep dive?